Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is TheJackSilkstone. So first of all, I hope you are all doing well and staying safe during these crazy times that we are currently living in. I know everything at the moment is a little bit uncertain and overwhelming. Like every time I log on to Facebook, there's just so much information being thrown at your face. So yeah, in today's video, I'm going to try and condense all of this information that we're getting at the moment into a nice, easy, watchable video that will hopefully clear up and let you guys know a lot of what's going on in relation to COVID-19 when it comes to UK theme parks. So yeah, to help me deliver you guys this clear and concise information, I'm going to be breaking this video down into 3 sections. Firstly, we've got just the statements that the UK theme parks have recently released. I'm going to be looking at Thorpe Park in particular, but it also applies to all of the major UK theme parks. In section 2, we're going to be looking at Merlin and their big document that they've just released, and I'm going to be kind of summarizing the main points from that for you guys. And then the third section, I'm going to be looking at some of the really interesting technology that is currently being developed for when the theme parks do eventually open. But yeah, essentially in today's video, I just want to let you guys know what's going on with UK theme parks, when they're expected to open again, and how we can expect them to operate once they do open. So yeah, we're going to start off with section number 1, UK theme parks. So on the 18th of May, 2 major UK theme parks released statements, basically just keeping everyone up to date as to what's going on. Those 2 theme parks, of course, being Alton Towers and Thorpe Park. As I mentioned, I will be looking at the Thorpe Park statement. As you can see on screen now, they posted this. And it essentially, as I said, just sums up everything that they know is going on at the moment. I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but just a few key points to highlight. We'll be sharing our full plans for reopening soon. For now, we're asking guests with tickets or short breaks booked between 1st of June up to and including 3rd of July to visit our website for information on how to move your booking free of charge. So yeah, if you do have a booking for that period, then absolutely get in touch with Thorpe Park, and I'm sure they'll be able to sort it out for you. Another key point to mention is we'll be sharing our full plans soon. In the meantime, keep clapping, singing and supporting each other where you can. So yeah, obviously it is super important to stay positive during these times, but interestingly, they have said that they will be sharing their plans very soon. So obviously, as soon as they do that, I will be updating you guys. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a video on that as soon as we get any information. But yeah, that is the statement that Thorpe Park released, and Alton Towers released a very similar one. But it seems like the current period that Thorpe Park are now refunding tickets for is up to and including the 3rd of July. Which means currently at the moment after the 3rd of July, so from the 4th of July onwards, if you have a ticket, Thorpe Park currently aren't going to be offering refunds, presumably because they are aiming to try and get open for the 4th of July. And obviously this situation goes far beyond Thorpe Park. They're not really in control at all as to when they can open, but they're obviously looking at the government guidelines, they're analysing the whole situation, and it seems like the plan that they've put in place as a company, Merlin-wide, is that they'll try and aim to be open for the 4th of July. But that is, of course, depending on so many factors. The government can literally change their rules at any point. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But it seems like at the moment, the date that the parks are aiming for is the 4th of July. So we're not going to be getting in any earlier than the 4th of July, but that could be the opening day potentially. But it's so hard to tell at the moment. There's no point in tweeting the park and messaging the park when they're going to open because they just don't really know. But the 4th of July is kind of a potential opening date for them right now, I think. But yeah, right now we're going to go into section 2, which is all about Merlin Entertainments, and we're going to be diving into the document that they released outlining their plans for COVID-19. So recently, Merlin Entertainments have published a 9-page document titled COVID-19 Protecting Our Guests and Employees, and it essentially goes into detail into how they're going to deal with COVID-19 and implement social distancing across all of their attractions across the world. So yeah, that's just a point to consider actually. Merlin do operate attractions on a worldwide basis, so there are some things in here that might apply to us here in the UK, but they might not. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. As I said, it's 9 pages long. I'm just going to kind of highlight some of the key points in this document. So as we can see here on the first guideline page, which is titled Before You Arrive, there are a few key points. For example, it seems like Merlin are really going to push for online bookings just to stop the need to transfer physical tickets. Obviously, when you purchase a ticket online, you'll have a barcode that you can just scan on your phone at the turnstiles, and it kind of just removes the need for social interaction with those turnstile and admission staff. It also just mentions how they will be going cashless as much as possible. I know Thorpe Park have done this on a certain days throughout Fright Nights, but it seems like this will be pushed even more just to try and remove the need for cash being used within their theme parks and attractions. I think the most interesting thing on this first page, however, is if recommended or required by local health authorities, please bring a suitable face mask where necessary. Face masks will also be available at our attraction should you require one. So it's kind of a difficult one. I know over in America at like the Universal parks, you are required to wear a face mask at all times, which I've heard is unbearable over there because of the heat. But here in the UK, it's kind of dependent on what the government say and what they advise. So you could potentially be required to wear a face mask at some of these theme parks in the UK. But as I said, depends on the government. It could just be an option. But interestingly, Merlin have said they potentially could be providing them if they are required. And this of course could change the dynamic of theme park vlogs really, because it's going to be so hard to film yourselves at these theme parks if you've got a mask on permanently. So yeah, just a little thought being a theme park vlogger. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. On the next page, which is titled On Arrival at Our Attraction, once again, a few key points. It seems like Merlin Attractions will be reducing the number of guests within the parks quite a bit, so the capacity will be a lot lower. Obviously, it just means it will be less crowded. Also, same with parking, they might require you to leave a gap when parking your car. But a really interesting one is they're going to be temperature checking a lot of their staff when they come to work and potentially guests. And if you have a really high temperature, which is of course a symptom of COVID-19, then you might be turned away. Like employees might be turned away from their workplace and guests may be turned away from going to the theme park. The next page, titled Social Distancing Measures Within Our Attractions. The first point is about the queue lines. In one of the only theme park vlogs that I filmed this year, when we went to Legoland just before all of this got proper mad, they had actually put in these queue line markers on rides such as the Dragon. They weren't really working at that point, but things hadn't escalated to the point where they're at now. So hopefully, if/when the parks do open and these queue markers are down, people will respect them, but it's hard to tell. But interestingly, there is technology being developed to help with that I will mention in the next section of this video. But also in dining areas, tables will be moved further apart than normal just to help spread people out. And a really interesting one here, we've developed custom plans for the application of social distancing on our rides. Because obviously on a lot of roller coasters and flat rides, you are quite close together with other people. So it seems like they're going to be closing off certain seats, certain rows on roller coasters and rides. Once again, when we visited Chessington before the lockdown was properly implemented, they were sending Vampire with guests on every other row. So you'd have guests, empty seats and then guests, just to try and help spread people out. Obviously this isn't ideal for ride throughputs. You are probably going to be queuing and waiting for the rides a bit longer because these rides aren't going to be hitting their maximum capacity. But yeah, that is absolutely one of the things that is going to be implemented when these parks open. And it's the same when it comes to live entertainments. That's not a super common thing here in the UK. However, that kind of brings up the point of these indoor attractions. Will they even be operating? You know, you're in quite a stuffy, crowded location that are often dark. Like in Ghost Train, it's hard to really see people in that pre-show. So we could even see rides like Ghost Train, The Walking Dead the ride, Angry Birds, all closed when Thorpe Park does open. But I don't know, they could find a way around it, but just be prepared that we could see quite a few indoor ride closures. Just another social distancing page now, just kind of expanding on that last page. There will be capacities for indoor restaurants and shops. There are some experiences that will be adapted or suspended. There aren't really too many of these activities that they're talking about at Thorpe Park, but at Alton Towers, they're talking about like meet and greets and kind of like touch pools within sea life, so we won't likely be seeing those in operation. There's also just the installation of hygiene screens for staff, just to try and keep them as safe as possible when dealing with customers. Now, the last 2 pages of this document are essentially just talking about hygiene and disinfection, and they're just kind of the basic things, like they're going to be increasing the number of deep cleans they do. They're going to be introducing hygiene stations and hand sanitize dispensers. Once again, these were already being put into place at Legoland and Chessington when we visited before lockdown began. And yeah, it also just says about how menu offerings are going to change. Pizza and Pasta, a restaurant that's at every Merlin UK theme park, I imagine that's going to change drastically, because it's just not great to have all of this food out with people going up to it. It's not very good, so I imagine that will be completely sacked off. And yeah, it also just says employers will now participate in COVID-19 specific training programs. So Merlin are going to tell their staff what to do in certain situations, how to deal with customers in a safe way. So yeah, that is the document that Merlin recently released. Obviously, as soon as they release any more information, I will let you guys know. But I think a positive that we can take from that is that they are looking for ways in which they can open. They are planning on opening as soon as it is safe to do so. But yeah, at the end of the day, they are just doing what they're told by the government. So it's kind of out of their control, but at least they are doing everything in their power to plan ahead and make sure things are ready to go as soon as it is safe to do so. In the last section of this video, I'm going to be discussing all of the technology that is currently being developed that is going to be helping these theme parks open as soon as possible. Now, 2 brands that are currently working incredibly hard on developing an app are Accesso and Holoviz. And interestingly, Accesso have worked very closely with Thorpe Park before. Accesso do a lot of the admissions kind of barcode stuff for Merlin theme parks such as Thorpe Park. And yeah, both Accesso and Holoviz are developing these apps. Holoviz's app actually vibrates if a user gets too close to another group, so they're really implementing like social distancing measures into this app. But the main things that these apps are going to do is they're going to allow you to kind of book a ride time, and then you'll queue virtually on your phone. So you will have to wait, say 15-20 minutes, and then you'll be able to pretty much walk into the station and then ride that ride. Obviously, this is being done to stop people from queuing closely together, just to keep everyone socially distanced. And who knows, just like many things in the world right now, if this does go well once the theme parks do begin to reopen, it could literally change the future of theme parks. Like, we could be seeing no more queues within theme parks. It could just become the normal to book a time slot, wait your time, and then go and experience that ride with no physical queuing. I really don't know, it's looking into the far future now. But yeah, I am going a little bit off topic now. That is essentially everything that I have to discuss within this video. As I said, I just wanted to condense all of the information that we're getting at the moment into one fairly easy video that has hopefully just summarized, you know, the main key points. But yeah, as soon as we do get any more information, I will of course be updating you guys, so be sure to subscribe to be notified as soon as I upload future videos. On a personal level, I'm really grinding out videos at the moment. I'm trying to keep you guys as entertained as possible, and I'm trying to keep myself entertained during this lockdown just by creating as many cool videos as possible. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching this video, guys. I hope it has been helpful, and I hope you're all staying very, very safe and well. And yeah, otherwise, thank you all very much for watching. My name is TheJackSilkstone. Goodbye.
Hey, nah, I ain't feeling that. You never proved me back. You never did jack. Hold that. I think I'm way, but I'm definitely not sure. I'm never washed up. I know I got more. Painting pictures with words. Top drawer. Trying to find a middle ground is a lost cause. Yeah.